Going on, everyone? Coming at you with more One Piece gameplay. I do apologize for the bit of hiatus as I was on vacation and things were pretty busy upon my return, but we got some more games in and I have some more stuff ready to go. Today's matchup is between Kin'emon and Yamato. Kin'emon being a deck that didn't really see any support in OP03. But I think it's still pretty strong, and it has had some pretty strong showings. I think it matches up extremely well against yellow, and I think it matches up fairly well against red, just in my opinion, especially with Whitebeard. It always does well against Whitebeard because Odin is such a good answer. If they don't remove it, then you're basically going to win after you play it. It's great against yellow because they don't have a ton of removal. They only have one answer to your Odin, and that's Katakuri, and they don't really have a ton of answers to your blockers. So Yamato's going to go ahead and start first here with no play. We're going to go second as Kin'emon, and we're going to activate our leader effect and play Okiku. Always a fantastic turn one play. We're going to see a 5k swing here, followed by a Parasparrow being played here, and we have a couple different options here when it comes to this turn. We're going to use our leader effect to drop a 4-cost Yamato to rest the Parasparrow, and then we're going to swing 5 with Okiku at the Parasparrow here, and see if our opponent wants to pitch 2 cards from hand here to protect it, which they're not going to do that. They're going to let it go, and they're going to grab a Strucin off of that reveal, and then we're going to pass turn back with one non-active, and we're not going to swing at life here. We don't want to, give our opponent another card out of life. They're going to swing on Okiku here. We're going to activate Paradise Waterfall to restand our Okiku, and they're going to go ahead and play the Charlotte Opera. And Charlotte Opera is a card that is seeing a ton of play in yellow. It is going to get arrested here by our Okiku swing, and we're going to swing 6 at life here, which they're going to take. It's going to be a Parasparrow, which, it's, of course it is. We're going to go ahead and swing 6 at the Charlotte Opera. We're going to swing 8 at the Opera. It's going to go down, and then we're going to pay 2 for a killer. This way our Okiku is protected, especially if our opponent wants to play something like a Big Mom. He's going to swing Parasparrow at it, and we're going to 1k with the Toki. We're going to block with the killer, and they're going to drop a 7-cost Big Mom, and we're going to let them heal in life, because as green, we don't really care about them healing in life, to be honest. Like, green has so many ways to generate card advantage, and we're just going to spend most of our turns just swinging away at their board. So we're going to swing 5 at Parasparrow here. They're going to let it go down, and they're going to reveal top 3. Didn't see what they grabbed there. We're going to swing 6 at life now, and then we're going to swing 5 at life. Looks like they grabbed a cracker off that last reveal. And they're just thinking about what they want to pitch here, or if they want to take it. They're going to pitch a cracker, and then we're going to pay 8, and we're going to play an Odin, and we're going to pass turn back. So we have our Odin on board, and that means Odin's going to be able to answer any play that our opponent really makes. If they want to swing with their 7-cost, it's likely going to die, unless they want to, commit everything always to it. They're going to swing their Big Mom at the Yamato, which we'll gladly let go down. It doesn't really do anything at this point. They're going to swing 8 at the Okiku, it looks like, and we're going to let that go down as well. And then they're going to pay a 5 for a Yamato, which again is completely okay with us. Yamato being a 5-cost is just, kind of ripe for the picking. So we're going to use our leader effect to rest the Yamato with our Yamato. And then we're going to slot Fordon, and we're going to swing at the Yamato with our Odin here. They're at the Big Mom, actually, and then we're going to swing at the Yamato as well. So we're going to clear the entire board here, and we'll pass turn without swinging at life, because, again, we don't want to hit any triggers. Anything that can be used to kill our Odin would be awful. Our opponent is looking like they're going to just try and commit most of their turn to killing this Odin here, which is kind of the dream, because they're swinging 10 here, and that's just a pretty easy, 3k counter out. And they're going to pay for 5 for another Yamato, putting that on board. And the position that we're in is feeling fairly good right now. We're going to use leader effect. Oh, sorry, not leader effect. We're going to play a Bonnie, and we're going to reveal top 5, and to which we're going to I think we're going to take the Law here, but we end up taking the Law. It's just like, is that the right play? We're just working on our Dawn. Law is going to be what we're going to take here, so we're going to swing 6 at leader here, and then we're going to swing 5 at leader. They're going to pitch 1k, and then we're going to swing 8 at leader, paying 3 to restand him, and then we're going to pay 5 for a Law, bouncing the Bonnie to play an Okiku, and we are past the turn with no non-active. And so our board is looking really good. Our opponent does have a Yamato on board, and their leader effect will be active this turn. Now they're at 2 life, so if they slot a Dawn under their leader, it'll be active. They're going to swing at my Yamato, and that's going to go down. It's done its job. It doesn't really need to stay on board right now. They're going to play a Charlotte Pudding here, and it looks like they're thinking about grabbing a 7-cost Big Mom, which I think they end up grabbing. And so it looks like that's their play that they're going to make. So they're going to swing 6 at leader, which we end up taking, and then they're going to play a 7-cost Big Mom, which will let them heal. That's fine. Now we're even on life, so things like Rush Katakuri aren't a thing. Their leader effect isn't active. We're going to swing at Yamato, resting the Pudding, and they're going to counter out of it. Again, that's fine. We're just kind of thinking about what we want to do Dawn-wise on this turn. I think we end up going 5 at the Pudding here, letting it go down. That's good. Getting bodies off board, I think, is important in this kind of game. We're going to swing at the Yamato here for looks like 11, so forcing out 2 cards from hand. We've done a fairly good job of keeping cards out of our opponent's hand, and I think that's very important. And then we're going to play another Law to bounce our Kiku and restand it. Again, just protecting. Putting out 2 blockers means that our opponent's likely never going to be able to kill our Odin. They're going to play another Pudding here, looking at their top 4. And then they're going to put the rest in the bottom of their deck there. Again, because of the fact that we haven't swung at their life, their Rush Katakuri is not live, so they can play it to look at their life, but they can't get the Rush effect, which is always nice. They're going to swing at our Odin here, which we're going to happily block, because we know now that our opponent's not going to commit, the rest of their Dawn to their leader. They're going to swing 7 at life here. I think we'll, be pretty happy to take that. And then they're going to play a Katakuri to look at their life, and they're going to place that on the bottom. And so now we're feeling like, we're feeling pretty good. We're going to be able to rest their Katakuri that they just played, and we're going to be able to clean up their entire board here. We also have a blocker here. So we're going to swing 6 at leader, resting the Katakuri, which they're going to end up taking. And then we're going to set aside some Dawn here. Just thinking about what we want to do. We are going to swing at the Big Mom for 11 and see if they let it go, which they will not, which is fine. We'll do it again. They're going to keep it alive again. Pay 1 for a Momo. Search again with the Momo here. And then we're going to grab an Izo off of that. And then we're going to pay for a Capone with our last Dawn. So we have 2 blockers out here. We weren't able to kill anything on the board, but we forced a ton of cards out of our opponent's hand. And we're not really in a position to lose the game. We have 2 blockers, 2 life. And we're in a position where next turn, we'll just be able to go for game. So at this point, it's kind of a battle of attrition. They're going to swing 10 at our Odin, which we're going to block. And then they only have 3 cards in hand, right? So if we play the next turn properly, if we can get a life without using Odin swings, then it's just going to be game. So we want to protect our board if possible. He's going to swing at the Odin here. And we're going to counter out with a 2k and a 1k, going to 11, and he swung at 10. So he's got to commit, 1 Dawn. He's going to swing at the Kiku, which we're going to count block, and then he's going to swing at Law, which we're going to block there. So all of our bodies that are important are going to end up staying on the board here. And their leader is at 6. So we can't just swing 5s, unfortunately, and then Odin swings. But we know our opponent only has 3 cards in hand, so we're going to swing at the Pudding here to take that down. Again, just getting body off the board here. There's a couple of different ways that we can play this turn. I think we could play like a lot safer than we need to. I think we end up doing is there are so many ways that our opponent could have things like Irakabura Arrow, or things like Kaku Sovereignty, which should stop us from having lethal. So we're just gonna think about what we want to do in this situation, and if they want to protect their characters. So I think we do end up deciding to play it a bit safer, and we end up going for their board, which is I think is the right play, honestly. So we end up swinging 12 at the Big Mom here, and then instead of swinging at the restanding swing, we play a Don Krieg here to pop the Katakuri by pitching a killer. And now we can block the swing from Yamato if they do decide to do that. If they play a 7 cost, it's useless. And we have a massive amount of pressure with this Don Krieg on board because we can throw a Don under him and swing 8 at our opponent, and then they basically have to pitch their entire hand to get out of it. It's going to be 2 cards, which will leave them with 2 cards in hand. And then it's going to be 6, 6, and then Odin's going to swing twice at 14. So I think at that point, this game is basically over. There isn't really a way out of it for the Yamato, and they're going to concede because there's just no way out. Again, Odin taking it. And thanks so much for tuning in, and until next time, Monty out.